To get on. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. This is day 4. I am going to make sure the settings are good before I get going. I'm learning, y'all. I am learning. I am learning. All right. I am good on Facebook. I love this. I love this. All right. So, hello, hello, everyone. This is Hump Day. This is Hump Day. Happy Hump Day. Happy Wednesday. And this is day 4. Day 4. Isn't it crazy? Day 4 of the 30-day life challenge. Journey to co-parenting, and I'm just so happy that you all have joined me and you've looked at the replays. But just in case some of you all don't know, my name is Tiffany Newton. I am a master certified life and health coach, and my focus for the last couple of years has been in mental health. And over the last it's been fairly recent. I've been focusing on co parenting and healthy co parenting. So that has really been the heart of what I've been talking about, and also the heart of the journey that I talked about on day 1. And I just want to be in the position to help as many people as I can, as I have really overcome in that area. So, and still overcoming, healing is not something that we arrive to. It's something that we constantly are doing every day. So let's do. I hope you all are enjoying. Please let me know if you're enjoying these lives that I'm doing. If you're getting anything out of it, please feel free to tell me what you're getting out of it. So I'll know. I want to hear from you. So let's do a recap from day 3. Which, do you remember what we talked about day 3? Hey, Camilla. What we talked about in day 3 was the importance of healthy co parenting. So I want to kind of give you a few takeaways just so you'll know, just in case you didn't catch day 3. I want to give you a few takeaways that we talked about. We talked about the health of our relationship in co parenting. It impacts our child's emotional well being. That's something that we really touched on. And we also touched on more in depth the previous day. Number 2, we must prioritize constructive conflict resolution, learning how to find peaceful and mutually beneficial solutions. That one's really good. I would kind of wish I can kind of reiterate some of these, but please go back and look at the replay because it was really good. Number 3, we learn the significance of being a positive role model, which teaches our children respect, collaboration, enhanced social and emotional skills. And that was really good because we learned that we are our first, we are our children's first role model, and that we really have a powerful place in our children's lives. And the last one, as a recap of what we discussed yesterday, is that having coordination with or I should say, having coordination efforts in which we can make joint decisions, ensure consistent parenting approaches, and prioritizing the child's needs and their best interest. So that was really good. The replay was really good. Or I should say, yesterday was really good. So you got to look at the replay. Okay. So as a reminder, my focus is going to be always the child and what's in the best interest of the child. So everything that we discuss will go back to that and will encompass that. Can we all agree that should be our focus? Whether we're co-parents or not, our child should be our focus, right? So also, I understand that everyone is different, and every relationship is going to be different. So your relationship, your journey to healthy, my journey to healthy is going to look different. So I want to make sure that you understand that, and that our focus is really going to be the same. It's going to be the child. So no matter how different it looks, our focus should always be the child. So as I mentioned beforehand, in order for us to promote having an emotionally healthy child, we have to be healthy. And to be honest with you, it's not always easy having a healthy co-parenting relationship. But once it's established, it's easy to maintain. So today we're going to be discussing the challenges. Uh, so all the challenges that we face in co-parenting relationships, and we have to identify where we are. You always have to know where you are. When someone asks you, when someone is, let's say you're lost, and this is before GPSs, or I mean, you could be lost now even with a GPS. And you're calling someone up on the phone. What's the first thing they're going to ask you? Where are you? Or what was the last sign that you saw? Because they're trying to assist you in getting to where you need to be. So we need to identify where we are so we can get to where we're going. So all of this is really to help you to identify where you are so you can get where you're going. And it's all about awareness. If you're not aware of where you are, then you definitely can't get where you're going. So, thinking about challenges, the problem is that co-parenting, it can be complex. It can be filled with potential communication issues, conflicts, and unresolved emotions. So, as we've learned already, these difficulties can negatively impact our child's well-being and overall our family dynamic. So, my purpose is to help co-parents establish and maintain healthy co-parenting relationships with one another. And by doing so, I'm offering a solution that leads to positive outcomes for both the parents and the child. So, healthy co-parenting relationships, it creates a supportive environment where the child feels secure, loved, and emotionally nurtured. And that's what we all want. We all want our child to feel loved, secure, and nurtured. So the answer, it lies in the child first method, and it stands for communication, partnership, collaboration, honoring the other parent's role, involvement with the child, letting go of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, determining everything to think about the child and what's best for them together. And this method, it actually highlights essential principles and practices and strategies for co-parents to follow. And it fosters effective communication, respectful partnership, collaboration, decision making, and a child-centered mindset. So when co-parents strive to establish and maintain healthy relationships, they can encounter several challenges. I mean, don't you agree with that? I know I have. I don't. Am I alone? Am I the only one that experienced challenges? And if you would please let me know if you're experiencing some challenges. If you're a co-parent and you've experienced some challenges, please let me know. And even if you're not, if you were a child and you grew up in a single parent home and your parents co-parent, let me know if what challenges as you've seen as an adult. Please drop it in the chat. Let me know. I definitely want to hear from you. So we have found that communication issues, it's the number one challenge in relationships. It's not just co-parenting. It's not just um, parenting. It's in all relationships. So communication has definitely been our focus because we know that's such an area of challenge that we face. So I'll give you a few so we won't be long because I can go all day talking about challenges, but I'm just going to give you a few today. Hey, Miss Harris. I'm not sure who P Deuces is, but Deuce, hi. Well, Deuce is by, isn't it? Is by Deuce or two? Okay. I digress. Anyway, thank you for joining. All right, so let's talk about our first challenge to amen. Well, I'm not a parent yet, but just supporting. Thank you so much, Camilla. Thank you. And you know what? No matter what it is that I'm talking about in regards to co-parenting, it really helps parents as well. Just like I mentioned either yesterday or the day before, that I think being a co-parent, you really have to be more intentional because you really don't know what's going on in the other home. Even if you effectively communicate with the other parent, since you're not physically there, it's hard to know what's going on. So you have to be a lot more intentional. So, and that makes being healthy so much more important. Yeah. So, so the number one challenge that co-parents face is high emotional tension. So that's just a fancy word for drama or mess. So high emotional tension. That's just another word for drama or mess. So communication issues, it often stems from unresolved emotions and past conflicts, between us. So it's essential to work through your own emotional baggage. Take personal responsibility. Take personal responsibility for your own emotional health and productive communication. So, um, I know I've mentioned before that healing it is a journey. So we have to take responsibility for our own healing and the process of our healing, and that goes with personal growth, personal development. That's something that we all have to do personally in order to make ourselves better for ourselves, for the people around us. And because high emotional tension can make it challenging to engage in open, respectful, and productive communication. When you are in this drama filled environment, this tense, stressed environment, it's hard to be open. You can't be open to what the other person is saying. And more than likely, you're going to end up cussing each other out. You're not going to be respectful to each other. You're going to be raising your voice. And those emotions, anger, resentment, feeling hurt because all of these things are unresolved. Bitterness, all of these things are unresolved. And really, what happens when things go unresolved? They just fester. and it just presents and until it festers until the opportunity is presented to come out. So that's why it's so important for us to deal with our own personal baggage. Um, and then it ultimately, as we have learned before, it impacts the child. I mean, the child is seeing and hearing and feeling all of this between us. So our goal is to have healthy conflict resolution, which we talked about yesterday. That's our goal. So when unhealthy emotions arise, which they will, I mean, it's hard for it not to arise because we're all human. You know, it's okay for us to use that. And I know I do this personally, not just with in my co-parenting relationship, but with everyone. I use it as my emotions as a barometer just to see where I am. I use it as data. And when those emotions do arise, you know, it's okay to let the other parent know, you know, you know what, let's pause right here. Let's take a break, and you know, let me, you know, I just need to think about some things, and that'll enable you to kind of work through your emotions so you can respond in a healthy way. And please, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, any disputes, anything you disagree about, whatever, I want to hear. I want to know. Please share those things with me. The second thing that's challenging in co-parenting relationships is the lack of effective communication skills. You know, it's hard to be able to have effective communication skills and not have high emotional tension. If you don't have effective communication skills, you will have high emotional tension. Because, and just remember what effective communication is. We defined that yesterday, and it was so good. It's the process of exchanging ideas, thoughts, opinions, knowledge, and data so that the message is received and understood with clarity and purpose. When we communicate effectively, both people feel satisfied. I thought that was a really good definition, and I wanted to bring that to you all again today as we are talking about effective communication and constantly talk about effective communication. So, what does the lack of effective communication look like? You may struggle with active listening, difficulty expressing your thoughts and feelings constructively, being defensive, or maintaining a non confrontational tone. You know how that is. And this can lead to misinterpretations, misunderstandings, and further escalation. I mean, it can escalate. We know how, well, especially when we feel strongly about something. You know, both of us love our kids. We want the best for our kids, and we going back and forth. It can escalate real quick. So we have to definitely learn to communicate effectively when it comes to that communicating with our co-parents. So the other thing I want to discuss is financial considerations. I might be getting into some business right here, but I thought it was good for me to mention this one because managing finances, it rolls into marriage, it rolls into business partnerships, and I know at one point in time, I don't know if it still is, but I know at one point in time, finances or money was the main reason for divorces. So it doesn't go away just because you get divorced. When you have kids and post divorce situations, finances can still be a challenging issue. So, managing financial responsibilities and to determine how we're going to share expenses related to our children, such as education, healthcare, extracurricular activities, all of those things. I'm sure you can think of some other things. It can be a source of conflict. And I believe that this can be a source of conflict no matter if there's child support involved or not. And really, even more so when there is. And when both parties are healthy, though, there's a level of trust and effective communication because that's our constant goal, you know. And so let me give you a couple examples of financial consideration. One is, I'll just give you one, is lack of financial transparency. When it ain't no trust, when there's not transparency, I'm not saying that you have to tell your ex everything because you're not married, but there should be a level of transparency, where you're not, um, when you can't fulfill a financial obligation, it does put a strain on the co-parenting relationship and it can lead to conflict. I mean, am I right? Am I right? I mean, so I'm not telling you got to tell your business, so much of your business, but you do have to have some type of accountability with one another, because it can cause some stress. The last one I want to touch on is boundaries and consistency. I'm going to make this quick, because coordinating rules and boundaries between households, it can be challenging. And of course, the children, they're stuck in the middle because they're getting mixed messages. They're experiencing inconsistent expectations. So, what does this look like? Difficulty maintaining consistent communication. It all boils down to communication. And I mean, and yes, we're not going to always get it right. We're not going to always communicate effectively every time, but this is something that we want to have as our goal. So so consistent communication, frequent communication is vital to co-parenting, and because it can put, with busy schedules, um, just maintaining just the regular um, requirements and commitments and of being a parent, it helps to have that consistent communication because it will um, it will help you to not have misunderstandings, missed opportunities for collaboration and difficulties in making joint decisions. Because as we've you know discussed before, we still have to have those joint decision making, or we need to have those joint decision making efforts as it relates to our child. So addressing all of these challenges, and I have so many other challenges that I could discuss, but addressing these, it requires our commitment to open communication, mutual respect, and a child-centered approach. That's one thing I definitely want you to get out of it. And, there's times where we can't, because both parties might not be healthy, but there's times that we might not be able to have effective communication. So you might need someone to mediate. You might need someone to kind of help, to guide you, to lead you, to find out what's the best interest of your child in the moment. So I would definitely encourage you to get professional guidance, to get with a coach. That's something that I do. I coach parents, and I can coach them, coach you together or coach you separately. So just wanted to put that out there as well. So you definitely need to get help when you need it. So, because we all want the best interest for our child, right? Yeah. So I want to give you an action today. You know, you've heard about what it takes to be a healthy, or I should say the importance of healthy co-parenting relationships. You've learned about the importance of emotional healthy children, because that is our main focus. And today you've learned about challenges that we face. And all of these are really building upon each other. So, your action today is to take something from each of those lessons, each of those lives that I've given over the last 3 days, something. Apply one thing from something that you've heard over the last 3 days. And please share it with me, because I want to know. I want to know. I'm nosy. I want to know, hey, what is it that you applied over the last 3 days that you heard that was good? So I'm going to close, but as a reminder, if you haven't followed me on Facebook, follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. I am on Instagram as I am Tiffany D. Newton. Facebook, Tiffany D. Newton. Please subscribe to YouTube at Teach Me Tribe, and join the Teach Me Tribe group, Facebook group. It is been a tremendous blessing to those who are already a member, and check it out. See if it's something that you would want to be a part of. It's a positive environment. We pour into each other. It's a non-judgmental environment, and we show unconditional love to one another. We're just real. So if you're a real person and you like real people, that's the group for you. And it's men and women that are there. So I'm gonna close. This has been great. I have truly enjoyed you all today. I thank you for joining me in day 4 of my life challenge, my journey to co-parenting, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thank y'all.